Warning: this speech highly consists of topics such as sexual assault and harassment. Did you know that 1 out of every 3 women have experienced sexual harassment? The incredible organization Me Too explains how this statistic and others like it are not very helpful, yet damaging to survivors in normalizing their experience and dehumanizing them. In other words, things usually brought up after the statistic are, what if this was your mother, sister, or grandma? This is dehumanizing because you should not have to give an identity to anybody who's being abused. The National Sexual Violence Resource Center shares different ratios of different types and gender-related assaults. Having common knowledge on these assaults could be useful, yet harmful when used on a personal level. In my speech, I want to explain how survivors still struggle with their assaults after the matter, and that coming out is not as easy as people think. Statistics can bring awareness to how common sexual assault and harassment really is. However, carrying these ratios can be damaging. It is common when explaining these statistics to imagine all of the women in your life that could or have experienced sexual harassment or assault. While this is difficult to explain, statistics and the need to identify survivors can be harmful because they can feel less than, unappreciated, and alone, as they are just the 1 out of 3 person to experience something tragic. It could also be harmful to assume that certain people and other people's lives could be targeted towards sexual assault or harassment. The quote, "this could happen to any woman in your life," could be eye-opening to some. Others can be offended or disheartened. No one wants to imagine that any type of assault could be formed on any one of their family members. Statistics are not the only thing that survivors have to go through. The system fails them, and they are often not believed. My best friend has been trying to file allegations against a man for 3 months, and the case has just now gotten started. She had to reach out to multiple people to get any news back on her case. Other survivors also usually have a hard time dealing with this problem. A lot of factors go into an assault case. Most cases do not get brought to the surface because of factors such as timing, evidence, and overall a confession. This also shows that not all survivors are lying. Many people even go to the authorities, the court system, just to get their case denied. The Guardian website found that in 2019, 58,657 reports of rape were filed. However, 1,758 accused perpetrators were even filed with an offense, let alone convicted. However, I think women supporting women is the best way to get over this aftermath outdated understanding of someone's life. Movements such as Time's Up help survivors in any way they can. You can donate to the Time's Up movement to help survivors with therapy sessions, join a women's rights march, or even post on social media for awareness. There's also usually facilities within other women's towns that could also help them. Some of these organizations donate to hospitals so that things like STD screenings and kit fees are free. They relieve the financial stress off of survivors as long as making it accessible to those without insurance. While this speech has mostly talked about women experiencing the sexual assault and harassment, this is not true. Men and boys also experience sexual harassment. This is sadly something that most of them will not admit, but it does happen. I hope that you took anything from this speech. It's that identifying anyone that is a survivor is not necessary, that the numbers are real, and that it is very hard for survivors to return to normal life. Certain situations can make this more difficult. Survivors have been known to suffer with PTSD, depression, unwanted pregnancy, reproductive system complications, STDs, etc. The aftermath of the assault can be permanently affected on a survivor's life. Most of this speech was brought together by facts and statistics by the Me Too movement and Time's Up movement, but also by my best friend. Family and friends also take on roles in a survivor's life that they do not expect. They are helpers, supporters, and a shoulder to cry on. Overall, coping with a sexual assault and harassment can last longer or shorter for others. No matter the distance between your assault versus then and now, there is always help.